Have you ever witnessed a high IQ team crash? Maybe not an aircraft, but perhaps you sat in an executive briefing room surrounded by brilliant people, experienced professionals, and wondered, how could a team with that much collective IQ completely miss a catastrophic problem until it was far too late? You have likely lived this exact scenario. A briefing room where the matrices are steadily deteriorating, milestones are slipping, same operational failures are returning again and again and again. Look around. Everybody's busy, everybody's deeply committed, everyone is working hard. Leading to more meetings, more reports, more presentations, more dashboards, and more artificial urgency. Yet fundamentally, nothing is changing. As a group captain, I want to suggest an uncomfortable possibility. You need to realize that the breakdown you are witnessing is not a failure of intelligence. It's a failure of systematic diagnosis. And aviation learned that lesson at the cost of human lives. Let's begin in a manufacturing facility. A major production line suddenly starts generating defects. The organizational response is swift. But while the team's collective bandwidth becomes concentrated entirely on that single casting station, a secondary silent vulnerability develops elsewhere in the system. A hydraulic cooling system begins overheating. The warning signs are flashing on the secondary display, but nobody is looking in that direction. Not because they are careless, not because they are incompetent, but because another visible problem has captured all the available attention. The team is treating the symptoms with flawless efficiency, while a more dangerous condition is developing beneath the surface. Aviation has a name for this. This is called diagnostic fixation. December 28, 1978, United Airlines Flight 173 approaches Portland, Oregon in the USA. The aircraft was commanded by an exceptionally experienced captain and a highly disciplined crew. As they prepared to land, the landing gear was lowered. A loud thud shook the airframe, and the three green lights failed to illuminate. The crew was trapped in a lethal ambiguity. Was the gear unsafely deployed, or was the warning system itself malfunctioning? In aviation, we are trained never to guess. We diagnose based on the actions suggested by the manufacturer and listed in the QRH. The captain enters a holding pattern. Checklists are completed, systems are reviewed, options are discussed. But the cockpit had become an operational laboratory. Everything was appearing normal, yet one critical decision remains to be made. Can the aircraft land safely? But this unplanned holding pattern was rapidly depleting their absolute operational boundary. That was fuel. The information about fuel was visible. The gauges were functioning. The data showed the critical level. The co-pilot and the flight engineer did comment. For nearly an hour, the captain remained focused on diagnosing the issue with the landing gear. The crew had not intentionally ignored the fuel level. Fuel had simply become background information. And this may be the most important lesson of Flight 173. The real question is, how does an intelligent team become trapped in a single explanation? The Human EICAS system identifies a highly predictable three-stage system degradation format. First, the advisory light, decision clarity reducing. An anomaly appears, uncertainty enters the system, the team naturally focuses on that deviation. Very normal. But as they try to stabilize the system and the matrices do not respond, internal pressure starts building. The yellow light starts flashing. Decision instability detected. As time is progressing, workload starts spiking. The team begins working harder. Meetings multiply and actions accelerate. Yet, understanding does not improve. The picture becomes even harder to interpret and the red light goes on. Assumption lock active. As the pressure reaches critical safety limits, the team quietly commits to a single narrative. A dangerous brief appears. We already know the problem. Assumption lock has set in. The team stops investigating and starts defending the status quo. And the real problem remains hidden. Flight 173 also contained a second lesson. Authority gradient. The captain is a highly respected, highly experienced, highly authoritative pilot. Information was given to the captain. Warnings were voiced. But this is not a story about people failing to speak up. It's a story about information failing to change the diagnosis. Information was available. Information was communicated. Yet, the captain's mental model remained unchanged. Authority gradient exists everywhere. In aviation, in hospitals, in military organizations, boardrooms, in project teams. The steeper the authority gradient, the harder it becomes for new information to challenge an existing assumption. Now think about your own organization. The same customer complaint, the same project delays, the same production failures, the same communication breakdown, the same collective action, the same meetings, the same frustration. The Human EICAS has a process of raising of warning. If the same problem keeps returning, the diagnosis deserves another look. When you feel the assumption lock has become active, pause. Pause execution. Challenge the diagnosis. Run a 4-point system check. Number 1, challenge the diagnosis. What assumptions are we treating as facts? 2, reopen the sensor network. Find what warning signals we have classified as background noise and not looking. Number 3, seek contradictory evidence. What evidence proves our explanation is wrong? And number 4, reopen the communication channels. Look for who sees something different, who has stopped speaking, who has information we are not hearing. Only then should execution resume. The EC3 framework provides the discipline to perform that recovery. United Airlines Flight 173 changed aviation forever. It helped shape crew resource management concept in aviation. It taught us that technical competence is not enough. Good teams need diagnostic humility. Good teams need curiosity. Good teams need the courage to challenge assumptions. And good leaders need the wisdom to listen. The fuel gauge in Flight 173 never stopped working. The data never disappeared. The crew simply stopped seeing the importance. The same thing happens in organizations every day. Watch for those warning lights. Decision clarity reducing. Decision instability detected. Assumption lock active. Because symptoms are easier to see than the root cause. And smart teams become exceptional when they diagnose before they decide. I'm Captain Ranjit Isaac, and this is the EC3 way.